coffee, and just different stuff, And also, hey YouTube,
Hi, YouTube.
hi. Um, and then in the back, she's got this funky boutique that I mean, there's nothing that I've seen in there that I would not wear. So, anyway, you need to go get your coffee from Mad Lulu in Porterdale, and I'm gonna tag them in the comments so you guys know where to go.
Lit.
Porterdale is like I love it. It's just this funky river mill village, and to me, it's got this potential of being like our own like little 5 points if we can just kind of get it
It's
there.
so cute. Yes.
I love it because that's where I go sit there. With myself. Porterdale's great. I love Covey. Um,
Love you.
You did it. You did it already. All right. So this show today is going to be, it's definitely Halloween themed.
Definitely.
So we're
We can talk very spiritual today.
spiritual. So,
Very.
we give you guys alternatives, different ways to heal yourselves. Because one way doesn't work for everybody. And so we just give you options. That's what this show is about for recovery, mental health, addictions. So this may not be for everybody, and if it's not your thing, that's okay. We would really appreciate though nothing but positivity in the comments, and everybody's got a different way of believing.
Right.
So I'm gonna get my palm read, and she's gonna do
Uh-huh.
my cards today, and then we're gonna have the fabulous Brittany Lynch from I Am. She's
I'm gonna
actually
do it
an
in a minute.
intuitive mentor. She does spirituality coaching and
Yes.
work. And so we're going to talk about transcendence and just some different topics than you're used to hearing, but they're all modalities of healing, and giving you the ability to heal yourself. So
Yes.
it's going to be fun,
And
super
that's so
fun,
powerful to, take your life kind of just in your own hands
right?
and, be the creator and not the victim of your life. So, and that's what I think self healing is all about. It's just really self empowerment, really.
It is,
Yeah.
knowing that you
Becoming the
have
warrior you already are.
the warrior, knowing you have that capacity and that ability, it exists within you, and just bringing it out. So exciting! All right,
Very, very. Okay. So we're going to start.
we're
We're going to
ready. I'm
start.
ready.
Okay. I can light these candles
All
just so
right.
then to put them on.
Again,
Okay.
we're not in our stuff together. There we go. What about this coaster?
Beautiful.
Here we go. And share the show.
Yes, please share.
The more you share,
Everybody.
you never know
Right,
who
so.
this could benefit or help and on their road to recovery. Someone that's stuck in the middle of addiction, or they're facing the adversity of having a mental health challenge and on the edge of not feeling that they're enough and that they want to stay here with us on this earth. And this show could be, the whole difference in that you just never know. I'm not saying that we're, yes, I am. We are. We're freaking fabulous.
Duh.
Uh, anyway, all right,
Right.
ready,
Okay. Ready?
ready.
Ready. Okay. So I need like my mic, I guess, still. All right, let me see. All right, so how I do this is and palm reading is actually it's just like an art form. Like anybody, it's a science. Anybody can learn it. So I'm not like blessed or it's not a power. Anything, anybody can learn how to do this. So
Okay,
okay,
all right, guys.
all right. So what we're gonna do? I'm just gonna connect for a minute. I'm just gonna take a deep breath and connect with spirit. I just want you to put your palms like this. Okay.
Now see my hands. No tricks here.
And I just do that, and we just like kind of connected energies. That's all we did. So, are you right handed or left handed?
Right.
Right.
I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Okay. Look here. So, I don't know if you can see Christina's hand, but you
It's
can look at
old.
your all. Stop. You can look at your own palm, and this line right here, that's your lifeline. And it's not indicative of how long you're going to live, but how you actually react towards life and how you bounce back, things like that. And then you have so lifeline, and then your headline right here. and the heart up here. So head and the heart. And then some people, not everybody, but you'll have a line going, and Christina has a very strong one up the middle, and that is going to be your destiny line. I'll tell you what some of these things mean on you. So this is just what I see. All right, and I see a lot of childhood. I'm going to say trauma because that's the word that's coming to me. But I see that it created a lot of anger inside you, and that reflected back, kind of like, what we give is what we get. I feel like you got a lot back of like angry situations and just like anger. And I do see that, it kind of stayed with you for a while. I would say definitely into the teens. And then I see almost like a little reprieve of anger, like maybe early 20s or something like that. You found something that helped.
Kaylee.
Oh, yes. And then I see it got difficult again. And I also see that the anger returned in a different way. I think the early childhood, it was this inward anger. And I think at later in your life, it was more of an outward. But I do see that things get really smooth going forward. And like all of this is just like the strength that you needed, to carry on through life happy and joyous, and kind of leading the life that you want. So this headline is very, very strong. I would say strong-willed, strong-minded, stubborn comes to mind. But very strong, which is a good thing. And I read this article one time about strong-willed children, that those are like the billionaires, and that's my favorite thing about Eli, my son. He's the most strong-willed person I've ever met.
Right.
And he was telling people no at like 2 months old. I think his first word was no.
No.
He has never been afraid to say no. And it's something I totally, totally have always, people pleaser all the way. Like, no, he's like, I mean, I think his first word was actually hell no. So I want to be, that was like the spirit behind his no, it's very strong, but that's beautiful. Okay. And I see your temper. And it's okay. Everybody has a temper. Everybody should have a temper. We're not meant to be doormats. We're meant to be strong. And sometimes our temper allows us to do that. So I just see that your temper really affected not only your thoughts, but also your destiny. And I think it helped it did this in a way that you had enough of the anger. Like you were done with the anger, and it kind of created your destiny. And that's how I see it. It really propelled you forward, I think. And in that way, you should be totally grateful for all this, totally grateful, because it really, that's like the whole reason for your life is all this. Beautiful. Hey. All right, so relationships. I see here 4 relationships that were impactful in your life. I'm not saying marriages, but I am saying 4 intense love relationships total. Right, and you also have a healer's mark. That is these little lines right here. So you have a lot of those. That's the healer's mark. And that just means that you not only have the power to heal yourself, but to heal others. And
Chills.
all right, so you have this amazing heart line, okay? And I see a lot of lines that go down, and it means a lot of heartbreak. I think you really put your heart on the line, wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're like all heart. But you've got a good balance of head too. You know what I mean? It's like a beautiful balance. But I do see just a lot of downward lines, and I just think that that means that you chose, well, maybe men chose you. I don't think you did a lot of choosing. And I do see that you you have this one line from the heart that goes up to your ring finger. And this is the only finger that has a vein that connects straight to the heart. So to me, that means that, you do have great love in your life, that will be something that comes true for you, probably something you've always wanted, and it's part of your destiny too. Because it actually connects, if you want to see, like this line connects with this line that connects with the destiny line. So it's all interwoven. Um, and then for children, a lot of times when people have the healer's mark, that's also where like the children are. And it just means that you'll kind of adopt, it's not like a child or anything, but adopt people into your life who are important to you, who might be like children, you know what I mean? And kind of be a caretaker to like the universe. So children, I can't really tell. Because if I was going to say something, I'd say like, count. Like 8. So.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's exact.
Y'all,
But
8? I'm almost 40.
What I saw. And that's why I don't usually count when I see. I have the healers.
Okay. All right, guys. She's so on point with everything she said. Aside from, I think at the caretaker, I really see that as part of the healing, the healer in me. And I get super close to people. Being an empath is that you adopt people, you feel their pain, and that is so me. And I'm really working on that balance for myself, because your pain can cause me to lay in the bed for 2 days. And I have to figure that out, you know? So, my mom's freaking out. She said 8. I'm
not
going to
8
pass
children.
out.
It's not.
No, not 8. You guys, you have to give me a second, because I forgot to send the number for our caller to call in, because that's where my head's been. Chrissy, that's incredible.
You liked it?
Yes.
A little gift I've been working.
Well, you're doing an amazing job with it.
Thank
Like,
you.
I am. You guys, she was so on point. And yeah, she does know some stuff about me, but not all that stuff she said. She did not know. Like, did not know. I haven't gone in depth about my childhood trauma with her. And for her to know that, like, in my teens, I was very angry. It was really tough. And then when Kaylee was born in my early 20s, it was like I was given this beautiful gift. No, and she still is a beautiful gift. I don't care what she goes through, what she faces. She was this. Without her, I was doing, there was a lot of drug usage. There was a lot of stuff going on in my life. I probably wouldn't be here had she not come along. And then, of course, being a mom, and then her having all of her issues, and having a lot of trauma in my life that I hadn't dealt with, I was in and out of that angry stage for a while.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, you guys, it was only in the past couple of years that I kind of walked into who I was. And it's been incredible. Incredible. And so I am thankful. I am thankful for the trauma. I am thankful for the horrible mistakes that I made, and there's so much grace in my heart for myself and forgiveness for others. Um, it is so freeing to live in this space.
Absolutely.
I loved that.
Oh, good.
So emotional.
Good.
God.
All right, and now we're going to do some cards.
Okay.
So I'm going to text Scotty and tell him we're doing cards.
Oh, he wants to know. Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I'm texting.
We don't have our stuff together.
I'm so sorry. I'm just, okay.
Like, that's how we do that. Ooh.
To tell somebody I love them really quick. All right.
And she's got to tell somebody that she loves them really quick. That's
Hey,
important.
I mumbled that on purpose.
That is, oh, did you? Oh, I just picked up what you were putting down.
I don't care. It's fine.
Loved it. Love it. All right. Here we go.
Okay. All right. Cards. Okay, so this is how I do my cards. These are my angel answer cards, and I really love these because they're just like straight answers. You know what I mean? Like if you have a question, I go to these, and they've given me really awesome.
I have always wanted to do this, you guys. Always.
It's fun, right?
It is.
And so these are my cards, and usually what you want to do with your cards is you don't like, my energy's all over it. So other people can touch them and everything. There's just a way to clear them. And all you do is you would touch every card, to get your energy back on them, and then do that. And it clears the cards. Okay, but we don't have to do that. So you're going to do this. All right, do you want guidance, or do you have like a specific question? And we're going to do this deck first.
Just guidance. I need all the discernment and guidance that I can
Discernment
get.
and guidance. Beautiful. Okay. So what I want you to do is just in your mind, I don't want you to think of a specific answer or any possibilities. I want you to think of a bright white light, just that you're kind of like a moonlight is guiding you, and you're walking down just a beautiful path, right? But you're kind of in the dark. All right. And I just want you to follow that light. All right. We're going to just allow Spirit to pop out some cards. All right. Oh. All right. See if there's any more. Do another
Cards are beautiful too.
Oh, these are my favorite. This is the Psychic Tarot. These are my absolute favorite. Okay, that looks like it. I'm going to let you pick one, okay? Okay.
I just feel like I have to close my eyes a lot.
That's fine. Okay. So let's see what you got. That's the one you picked, and this is the one Spirit popped out. So. Right. Have rejoice in celebration, conflict and defeat. These don't have to be bad, okay?
Okay.
We're going to read what they say. Emotional loss, wisely. And you got a lot of the green cards, so I'm going to just refer to my little handy book right here. So, which one do you want to read first?
Choose wisely.
What? There's like a crazy storm outside.
We just called a storm on us.
sorry.
Sorry, guys.
You did it.
Our
All
fault.
Done brought it. Okay.
Choose wisely. That one I'm most intrigued by because I have so much trouble with like guidance and discernment. I'm sure that's probably for all of us, but I have so many like ways I could go right now, and they all seem to like lead to this one pinnacle, and I'm just trying to figure out all the avenues. And so that's, oh my gosh,
See, y'all done brought the voodoo up in here.
y'all, the lights are flickering in here. Oh my
All
God.
right, I cannot find these cards. This is insane. Okay, red border.
You got this, Chrissy. You better get it before the lights go out.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Y'all.
This is crazy. All right, let's do choose wisely. It says this card comes forth when you have a vision or goal that you want to achieve, but too many choices, scattered energies, and unrealistic expectations prevent you from attaining what you desire. Opportunities are bountiful, but there's a decision to be made at this time. This card reminds you that you have options now around you. That the options now around you may appear to have all the influence and power, but in reality, you're in control and responsible for all the choices that you make. Take time to think, analyze, and carefully look at the different possibilities that are in front of you. Don't be hasty just because you feel pressured, and don't be influenced by people who have no idea, expertise, or education in the area of your choices. A focused, wise decision far outweighs one made emotionally or in desperation.
Whoa.
that resonate?
Absolutely. Like that's what I've been sitting in. You know that. Like I've been sitting in that for like weeks now, just like what do I do? And so that's just telling me I need more time to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Wow, you guys.
All right. And then let's do emotional loss.
Yeah, can we get that out of the way real fast?
Okay.
I've had
These
enough.
don't all have to be bad. I
Okay.
promise. I
All right.
promise.
Okay.
All right. The number 5 emotions card comes forth at a time when you may be experiencing or grieving a loss of someone or something you're emotionally attached to. Honor your feelings. Only by healing and loving yourself, by letting go of the past, can you continue your journey.
It's Kaylee. That's Kaylee. Because, she's been displaced from the home
Right.
and that emotional loss, um, you know, has really knocked me off my feet.
Yeah. It says the suffering associated with this loss delivers profound wisdom and knowledge for your soul. Your unique gifts, talents, and abilities, as well as your joy and sorrow, will not only make up who you really are, but better yet, who you will become. That's what I just said.
Y'all,
Crazy.
I don't know I know that a few people have just joined, but like we literally, woo, I'm a little overcome.
Crazy. All right. And then it says the painful experiences of life are equally as valuable as the joyous ones. Focus all your positive energy on the good in your life and what you're grateful for. Use your healing energy in this way and try not to focus on what you've lost, for new beginnings and happiness are just around the corner.
Oh my God, I think I'm going to cry.
Happy birthday.
Ugh.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Number 3. Okay, let's do this one. Rejoice in celebration. A time of merriment, celebration, birth, success, and victory is at hand. You're doing what you love most and are pursuing your passion. When you follow your heart and intuition with zeal, there are no limits to what you can achieve. When the energy of excitement and love is present, you can feel it moving within you. Somehow, love has a way of showing you that you're connected to something much larger than yourself. The number 3 symbolizes unity and a time to rejoice in gratitude and sharing, whether it's with family members, friends, or even coworkers. Oh.
Or all of those.
Or all of those. This is the moment of fruition for all your dedicated work. So pat yourself on the back and party and dance in celebration for your accomplishments.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, girl.
That's so wonderful. It
All
really
right.
is.
So, do conflict.
Yeah, let's get that out of the
Get
way
that.
also.
All right. Like I said, this doesn't have to be bad.
I
That
know.
emotional loss was good.
It was.
It was
It's
positive.
fantastic.
Yes. All right. I'm going to X this out. Sorry, there's something on our screen that's really annoying.
Yeah, pretty annoying.
All right, conflict and defeat. The number 5 mental card represents significant learning and change. Nice. And how you handle yourself at this time is vital to your overall well-being. This card could relate to a lack of sensitivity in taking action or in response to conditions or situations around you. This need for sensitivity could relate to you or someone else in your life. Even though a battle can be won, it's important to evaluate the cost and pain to both parties. Sometimes it's best to surrender and walk away if no answer or victory can be achieved. Don't assign blame, become deceitful, or set out to get revenge, for this results in the negative energy becoming part of you. You're being tested on how delicately and gently you take your next step. Remember, everything in your life is an opportunity to learn and grow. I think I know what this is about.
I do too.
Okay, we don't have to say it.
I've had to sit with myself a lot lately, and I might start crying, but I've been called to sit with myself. I probably haven't reached out to family members and friends like I normally would lately, but I want you to know, like, I love you all so much. You have no idea. Like, I pray over you every single day, and you are still so much a part of my life. And like, you're with me, even though I'm not really talking to you right now. I just want to say that because I'm here and I have the platform to do it. That's exactly where I'm at. It's just really a lot of like self-evaluation and really looking into myself and at my future and where I'm going. And I'm getting there. Like I'm getting there every day, a step closer, and I'm able to open up more and more. But I just want you guys, some of you are on here and that I've been kind of reclusive, but there's a big beautiful reason why on the other side. So
course. And we all need to give each other grace for whatever we're going through in the moment and just know that it's all for, the greater good
Yeah,
of her soul and our own
absolutely.
soul. It's a lot. Sometimes we have to be patient with the people that we love because we're all going through something and just be kind. A lot of times when I am feeling butthurt about something,
That's a really good, that's a good word. Butt hurt.
Thanks. I go within and I'm like, well, what is it within me that is offended or taking offense to this? Because I can only change me. And a lot of times, the best thing to do is just reach out and just tell people that you love them all the time and make sure they know that they're important no matter what they're going through.
Yep,
Because
that's
we have to
the
give
truth.
people grace to just be human and live.
I'm being very human right now.
You are going to love the card that you picked.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Take it. I'm going to read it.
Material and spiritual prosperity.
Ooh.
Shut the front door.
Good card. All right. And the number 6, which we are both, our life path number is 6. Both of us share that.
I did not know that.
Yep.
No wonder I love you so much.
Sorry, I do weird things with my friends and loved ones.
It's okay.
What's your life path number? I have to know if we're going to get along.
Right, because if not, you got to go hit the highway.
Okay, so the number 6 physical card represents a peaceful, tranquil time that problems seem to actually disappear. A sudden bonus, pay raise, or even a promotion could be in the offering. It could be expected or arrive out of the blue. This card may also signify a group that has worked and strived toward the success of a common goal. A time of prosperity, balance, and harmony in your physical and spiritual existence is showing you that the practice of giving and receiving will bring you true riches. Look into your life and see where you can spread spiritual and physical wealth. Is there a person or a favorite charity that would welcome an act of kindness right now? Practice generosity, gratitude, and compassion so that you continue to prosper in all areas of your life. Hey, Brittany.
Hello? Hi.
Hey, girl, sorry. We're just having a whole moment.
Sorry, I'm doing a reading.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
it's
we're
okay.
done
We're
now,
almost
actually.
Please
done, yeah. I was gonna
continue.
do it
I would
for
love to
Scott.
join this moment.
Yes.
Holy
I
cow.
could definitely do a remote
I
reading.
just
for you.
want to say that was, we just had this whole conversation. We won't go into it because I've been waiting for this for Brittany, and so I'm really excited. But we just had this whole conversation, and that makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, abundance, abundance.
Well,
This
give
this
me
one
a
right
little
here.
piece of it because I'm on the edge of my seat. I was watching you guys earlier and I took a little bit of break, so I just missed this part.
Well, go back and watch it. It'll make sense to you too. I mean, don't do that right now, but later you'll see it. You'll understand because you know totally
Okay.
what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
do. Would you, Brittany? Would you care if I did one card reading for Scotty here? Would you mind?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go
Awesome.
for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. You
Yes.
want to take a
Oh,
picture of your card? And then I'll do a reading for Scotty. You want cards?
Sure. why
Okay.
you have to wait.
Oh.
Wait your turn. Okay.
Okay.
And if we have time, you should give me a reading too.
I definitely will. It's like my jam. I love doing this. Okay. All right, Scotty. Do you have a specific question or do you just want guidance? Shoot it from the hip.
not? What you can find.
All right, well, let's just see what you get. Okay, let me just pray over these. Okay. See what comes out for you. All right, and pick a card, any card. That's exactly what Christina picked.
Hey, we in trouble.
Y'all both.
Oh, that's
we're
fun.
the
We're
same
not in
card.
trouble.
It's a good card.
We
All
give
right.
you-
There's something to that.
Very much so.
Something good.
Okay, these came out together, so. Okay. Got nice cards. All right. All right. So the first one that came out and that just flipped out on its own was the crown chakra. Let's see. Chakra. Stop. It's not.
It's not weird. Chakras are not weird.
All right. So this says the crown chakra is located at the top of the head and has been called the 1,000-petaled lotus or the receiver of light. This chakra is the center of your link with the universe, the infinite, and your higher consciousness. It's the connection between wisdom and spiritual insight. Are you listening?
Pay attention. This is
He's
important
on his
shit.
phone.
If you're talking to me, I'm absolutely.
No, my love. No, you're fine. Sorry. All right. The chakra is the center of your link with the universe, the infinite, and your higher consciousness. It's the connection between wisdom and spiritual insight. The crown center is the area where ethereal light and energy are received and then dispersed throughout your aura for total well-being. To balance this chakra, meditation, breathwork, yoga, acupuncture, color therapy work best. Yeah.
Yoga.
All right. And then you got harmony. That's a nice one. How nice. This card signifies that the possibility that a deep spiritual initiation, partnership, or union is taking place at this time or is a manifesting for the future. Remember, not all partnerships have to be one-to-one. They can be forged with a group, an organization, a pet, or even an incident or situation. The Harmony card is calling to let you know that it's time for you to make choices in certain relationships. The bonds you form with others are really about you, even in the most difficult situations. They're meant to be mirrors for you, always reflecting back what you need to see.
Yes, mirrors.
Yeah? All right. Deception and envy.
Tons of deception.
All right. Let's see. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. This card comes at a time when individuals or conditions aren't what they appear to be. How well do you really know the people around you? Are they telling you everything you need to know? In business, make sure you gather all the necessary information so that you're aware of and understand all the facts before continuing. You've worked hard. Don't let others take from you what is rightly yours. Unfortunately, some people may be envious of your accomplishments. This card also represents a time of sudden and unexpected changes or when plans that you're undertaking may not turn out exactly the way you envisioned. Have a plan B as a fallback strategy to prevent future problems. Use this card as a reminder to be prepared. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Whoa, dude.
Dig that one.
That's totally what.
With
That was
everything that
good.
we talked about for this week.
Yep.
Wow, you guys.
All right, movement, choices, decisions. This card indicates a time of movement. Significant changes and choices must be made. With hard work, great effort, and determination, you have the ability to juggle all the demands that are in front of you. Whether they concern money, business decisions, or other projects, it's important to stay flexible and focused. You don't have to do it alone. Reach out for the best advice and assistance. In addition, a financial union or partnership may present itself to you. The more time you take to make these vital decisions and choices, the longer it will be before you can move towards your goals in the physical world. The changes that are emerging aren't some random acts or coincidences. They are all a part of a positive and larger scheme. Notice the connections with everything, and this will enable you to avoid future problems and conflicts, which is like the answer to number 7.
Wow. It's all pretty spot on.
Awesome. Cool.
Well, have fun with this.
Thank you.
That's just spot on like
Yeah.
See,
You
there's
said it
something
was
to
spot
this.
on.
We're not all wacky and weird like you think we are.
No, you don't have to be scared. It's not scurry.
It's not scurry.
Not scurry at
That was
all.
a lot of
Okay, beautiful
information.
Brittany.
Beautiful, Brittany. Thank you for your patience. You are amazing.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You have no
Yes.
idea how much I love you. I just want to say that.
Girl, I do know.
Yeah, you
And I love you the same amount.
Okay. All right. So you know what this jam is about. You know what we do here. And
do.
we're all about like just giving people options to heal and alternatives to whatever they're addicted to, whatever is got a hold on them, whether it's mental health, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, food, whatever it is.
And we can be addicted to emotions. Too. We can
Emotions.
be addicted to
Oh my
anger
gosh.
and love and
Yes.
things
absolutely.
like this. They don't have to be good emotions.
Right. And can I just say that I am like y'all's biggest fan with what y'all are doing here. It is just nothing short of beautiful. I was meditating on it earlier, and what you guys are doing is you're bridging the gap. You're bridging the gap between need and gift.
Oh,
So there are so many resources out there. There's so many modalities. There's so many opportunities for growth and healing. And you guys are out there and you're connecting with these resources, and then you're bringing it to the people that are in need of these resources. And I'm just in love with what you're doing. And that's why I'm so honored to be here connecting with y'all today.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We say it all the time. We get so much more from it than I can ever imagine we could give someone else. You know, when
Absolutely.
it's 4 hours out of our day on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but the abundance that I receive from it emotionally, spiritually,
Absolutely.
I walk out of here on this high. Like, so before I came in today, I was freaking tired because I had this like 4-shot espresso coffee from Mad Lulu, which was incredible. But was like coming off of that high, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. As soon as I got down here and I sat in front of this mic, I was like, I'm good.
Right.
And you called all that energy into me as
I
well.
did.
And
Yeah.
We
so
needed it.
I think it's important
Well, it's your
for
purpose and your
people to
passion.
know why you started on this journey that you're on. Kind of explain to people what it is that you do and
Mhm.
why.
Yeah. So when we talked the other day about, me coming on as a guest, we talked about, transcending into the 5D and ascension and consciousness and all these like crazy terms that we use in the spiritual community that a lot of people may be going, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. And so essentially we're just talking about spiritual growth. We're talking about spiritual evolution and, moving into higher levels of awareness, which is just consciousness. And that really is because everything is energy. Everything is energy. Our thoughts are energy. The desk in front of me is energy. Everything is made up of energy. So for me, in my pursuit, it's just kind of my passion and my purpose is this pursuit of truth.
Right.
And so it just makes sense. It makes logical sense even that I'm going to dig into the source of all that is. And that stems from energy. That stems from the one spirit that has called everything into being. And so essentially that's why I've chosen this path, is because it just calls to my heart to know and embody truth. And in speaking on truth, there, depending on kind of what dimension your perspective is, and you're operating from, if you're operating more from a 3D, 4D perspective, 3D being, the physical reality that we experience, 4D being the mind. This is my perception of it. Anyway, I mean, you can definitely, when you get into talking about dimensions, you can get into the math and the geometry and the physics behind it.
Right.
But for the purpose of this conversation, simply put, the 3D is our physical reality that we experience through our 5 senses, and the 4D is the mind, that which we do not see, but where we perceive everything, whether that be consciously or subconsciously. The ego. This is where our conditioning lies, mental programs, belief systems, limiting, thought forms, and parental and societal conditioning. This is where traumas, are stored as well. Of course, it can also be stored, in the physical body, in the cells. But when we talk about like transcending the 3D and the 4D, moving into 5D, that is when we're talking about moving kind of beyond the mind,
Right.
into tapping into the infinite intelligence. you know, and there's different terminologies that you can use for that, you know, God, source, Christ consciousness. And this is where, you know, we start developing other senses and experiencing other gifts. You know, and this is a place of, you know, faith. This is, you know, beyond sometimes the mental understanding. Because it's definitely a realm of faith, and it's a realm of unconditional love. And, you know, that is, I'm just so passionate about exploring, you know, this spiritual realm.
Beautiful. So I have a question. What kind of led you to seek out spirit? Because I know for me, it was like a lot of pain and, you know, kind of experiencing
I've tried
quite the
everything
opposite.
else.
Yes. You know, filling up the God-sized hole within. I don't know. So I was
Absolutely.
just wondering if you'd be willing to tell us, you know, what led you on this path?
Sure. Yeah. Well, you know, I was raised in, you know, like a religious family, like a Christian family, with the particular denomination that we were associated with was what you would, you know, quote unquote, called spirit filled. So I was exposed at an early age to spiritualism, you know, in a sense, and in that, you know, that belief was instilled that, you know, you can heal people, and you know, that and different other, you know, prophesy, and, you know, tapping into, you know, you know, this spiritual awareness, really. And also, I will say, with my upbringing with religion, I experienced the polarity to that, which was, you know, judgment and condemnation, and, you know, being taught and believing that, you know, this God and source of love and creator of all, you know, whether you want to call it God or source or whatever terminology you want to put to it, would or could, you know, torture me for eternity, you know, in this place called hell. And that, you know, that created trauma. You know, that is something that I am working through recovery, you know, and I do not, you know, I don't judge, or, you know, I don't have any resentment towards my upbringing, because it was part of my experience. It was part of what I needed to experience for my life path, you know, for my journey. So there were wonderful gifts that I took away from that. And there were also, you know, some contrasting things that, you know, caused me to need to dig deeper into my truth of who I am. So I was always, you know, maybe because of my exposure to, you know, the spiritual kind of community at an early age, I was always drawn to that. But I've just innately, it's just who I am, to ask questions, you know, to want to know. Like, I was always that kid that you answer my question. I always had a question. And then you answered the question, and I had a question, you know, for your answer. And then I had
like, get this kid out of here.
Girl, you have no idea. Yes, like, you know, they called me the question box, and there were many times that they're like, okay, that's enough. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I was limited to like 3 questions a day.
That's all you get.
Like, no, especially if we were like, you know, at a movie, I would always ask my dad, what's going to happen? He's like, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I've never seen this
Watch
movie.
it.
Yes.
What's going to happen next?
It's just in me. It's just who I am. And that's my analysis, you know. I mean, if we're looking at dimensions here, I mean, that's the 4D. I mean, that is my analysis. That is my thinking mind. And it's very powerful. And, you know, I have lots of intrigue there. But there's, you know, and Chrissy, you mentioned about, you went through, I don't know that you said specifically, but you went through like some uncomfortable situation or something that kind of brought you to this path. Is
Very.
that what you were saying?
Yes.
Mhm.
Some soul
Yeah.
stretching.
Yes. So
Yes.
when a lot of people, kind of reach this place of this spiritual awakening, we call, and don't get me started on like language, and because that is very 3D 4D as well.
Right.
When we start moving into the 5D, I mean the language just kind of dissolves, and I mean this is why you're seeing people with telepathic abilities and psychic abilities. I mean it's just, so a lot of times language really does limit us, and it actually creates a lot of conflict, because so many times I observe, through awareness, I observe people that are literally in a debate, a fight, an argument about something that they're practically in agreement on, but they're using different words.
Right.
So they think that they're in a disagreement. And, it's like you
You're
take a
both
lot
saying
of
the
this.
same thing. Shut up.
Exactly. Like, yes, you're saying it in a different way, but you're
Right.
both saying the same thing. Or, you can look at like religion and different religions, and a lot of them, have the same basic principles.
They're all almost identical.
Right.
Right. And then they're just kind of expressing it in different ways.
Right.
And that is where I just feel like when you're moving into the 5D of just acceptance of the whole and
Mhm.
all that is, and you're moving beyond judgment, you're moving beyond division and separation, you just, accept. You accept, people, you accept their path and what their, choices are. And, it's just really a beautiful place. And I feel like that we're just collectively, that's where we're going. That's where we're moving into.
Right.
But about the awakening is there a lot of times, I mean, if you study and research and you interact within these communities, for most people, it is uncomfortable. This awakening process.
Oh my
So when we
God. Mine
talk-
was almost like, it almost took me right off my feet.
Yeah,
Girl.
absolutely.
Yes, yeah, and I'll tell you a little bit about mine too, but it's so uncomfortable because what's happening is the mental programming that we've been instilled with from society, from our parents, from our ancestors. That we hold that within our DNA, we hold that within ourselves. This is even being shown through epigenetics, and I think you guys just did a show on this.
Yeah, I talk about epigenetics as often as anyone will let me talk about it.
Right. And it's so very interesting because epigenetics shows, through research that trauma is passed down generationally.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
It is marked on our genes. And it's, it's not a mutation of the gene, but it definitely impacts us. And so when we start to awaken from all this programming and essentially the illusion that we've
Right.
created within our minds, it is very uncomfortable. It is extremely, because it comes into complete contrast to our belief systems.
Because then
And
you're
so
on that path to deprogramming or reconstructing your programming, and it's overwhelming.
Absolutely. It's a daunting task, and you kind of, I feel like you keep getting opportunities to change.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Or
you don't
you're
always
given
see
those same
those as opportunities.
situations
Yes.
that you've been given before
Yes.
that you handled poorly. And so
Yes.
you didn't see that before. But then when it comes, you're like, oh my gosh,
This is the exact same
This
thing
is-
I've been dealing with forever.
this is my chance
Yes,
to
get it
do
right.
it differently.
And I
Yeah.
also think too, and I love what you said about language, because a lot of people don't know this, or maybe not even believe it, but the language is relatively new. We didn't used to communicate at all with words.
Right.
It was all telepathically because we were in tune to that vibration.
Exactly.
And I think
Right.
that's so beautiful, and you're so right. There's nothing more contentious, I think, than language.
Right. And,
Sure.
and all these concepts that we're talking about, of the 5D and beyond, a lot of people want to kind of label this as new age. This isn't
Right, it's
new
It's been
age.
around.
We're just going back to our
Forever.
roots, really.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's what I say
Yes.
all the time. In medicine, in psychology, in every facet of my life, I want to go back to the way that it was in the beginning. Whatever that beginning is, I want
Right.
that.
Yes, yeah. And so what that is coming back to truth. That is coming back to self. We have all of this within us. We are an extension of source energy, the creator of
Right.
all. I mean, that is our essence. That is who we are. And the way that I perceive it, you know, is that we all have a unique frequency. I mean, everything has a unique frequency.
Absolutely.
And I consider it like an energetic thumbprint, you know?
Right.
And it's, so knowing who you are, what you were created to be, which is infinite. It is not just this, reality that you have a conscious recollection of. You know, we're eternal. Energy cannot be destroyed. You know, and as I was saying before, everything is energy.
Mhm.
And I mean, like even, Einstein quoted, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it.
Right.
If you match the frequency of the reality that you want, you cannot help but get that reality. So it can be no other way. And he said, this is not philosophy. This is physics. So what we're seeing is the merging of science. And for so long, there's been this division of science and spirituality. We're transcending that now.
Right.
We're moving into truth. So as you move into this awareness and you move into this truth, into these higher dimensions, there's not this division. So also this duality mindset of good and bad and black and white, that is very fourth dimensional. And that's very much where our ego resides. And the way that we have been programmed to think and perceive things as good and bad. And that right there is so much of the hang up with people processing through this. As you were saying earlier, Christina, I think it was you saying that it's just so overwhelming. There's just, once you start on this path, there is, and it really is. I mean, it feels that way because there's so much conflict between, your true essence of who you are and all that programming. And you have to start peeling back these layers. And it takes awareness, it takes consciousness to see
Right.
it for what it is, because you've been sleeping this whole time. I mean, people have just been running on autopilot. They don't know why they're doing what they're doing, but they're just doing it because that's what our culture, our
The
society,
makers of the machine have
Mhm.
programmed us to do, and we don't know any different. When you have that moment of realization, like, this isn't it. This isn't it. This isn't how we're supposed to be. And I'm the word girl, and it took all the words out of me. I was like, I wish I could explain to you what's happening to me, but I
Right.
can't
Right.
right now.
Yes. And so a lot of people, and that's what people refer to as ascension symptoms. When you go through this awakening process and you are consciously choosing to filter, you navigate through all of this programming and all of this trauma and everything that we've experienced that is not in alignment with our true self and who we are, our divinity. We have to process. It is a process. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. It is a process, and we have to go through it. And so, if you're not willing to confront your shadow, you're not willing to confront your subconscious, beliefs, and subconsciously, I mean, that's where we're storing the trauma. That's where we're storing the insecurities and the fears and the hate and the anger and all of this stuff that honestly resides within all of us. It's there.
And it's why
And
those situations keep returning, keep
Right.
coming up. It's the subconscious belief in the back of your mind that's
Yes.
not, plaguing you every day. It's those beliefs, and that's like 94% of who you are is your subconscious.
right. And that's where we're projecting our reality from.
Right.
So here's kind of the way that I look at it, the 5D being the super conscious.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the 4D mind, which is your conscious and your subconscious mind. And then you have the 3D, which is the screen, so the 4D, where you're projecting from, all of this consciousness is filtering through your subconscious beliefs and ideas. And then it is being projected. That's like the projector. And then it's being projected onto this screen, which is your 3D reality. And people don't understand, why their life seems to be in patterns and in cycles. And why do I keep attracting toxic people? And, why, am I constantly just living in lack? And, all of these things is because you are a creator of your reality. Like,
Right.
people don't realize and accept how powerful they are as a co-creator. You're co-creating with source your reality. And, back to the ascension symptoms, because of that uncomfortability, people actually, believe that they're having a mental breakdown at times.
Right.
I mean, because you kind of are.
Yeah,
You
You definitely
kind of
are. You have to.
You're deconstructing everything. It's breaking down to build back up.
Right. And it can be very intense. And for me, that came and this is kind of an interesting story that I will try not to drag out. But my dad was an addict, and my dad was my very best friend, and my dad was my hero in spite of his struggles. We were very, very close, very connected. He was my best friend. And throughout my childhood, because of his addiction and the dysfunction and things that we experienced, there were a lot of traumas there, that were suppressed. And I very quickly, with my strong, intellectual, analytical mind, figured out that if I can just stay in control of my environment, then, I can avoid, I can avoid this uncomfortability, of this trauma. So that's the mode that I went into, is just always being in control, always knowing, asking all those questions, knowing everything about what's going on. And then, fast forward, to adulthood. And, my dad in 2013, he overdosed. And consequently, he died. And for 3 days, we were at the hospital, ICU, and he was hooked up to life support. And that was my awakening, because I didn't realize it at the time. But what was happening is that this belief system, this illusion of my mind that had, I accepted this belief that, if I could just stay in control of my external reality, then everything would be okay.
Right.
Well, in that hospital, I had a real break. I'm sitting very dissociated kind of situation going on, where I'm watching all of the waiting room full of family and
you're
friends.
above it, looking down on
Oh,
it.
yes, that's
Not there.
exactly what was happening. And I'm watching all these people sitting in this waiting room, and they're very much just casually there, just waiting, just in waiting, and, accepting of what was. And I was not. I was very much, okay, I need to see the director. for the ICU, like, we need a private meeting. I need to speak with the neurologist. I need to, let this nurse know that I'm very unhappy with, her performance. And that was my reality in that moment, because it was like, oh my gosh, I had become basically like a caretaker in a sense, a codependency. I mean, essentially, I don't like to get hung up on terminology. I was never a codependent in that I enabled addicts, but very much in that, I cared deeply to the point that I didn't care for myself enough, if that makes sense.
No,
Yep.
absolutely. You're speaking to me and for me.
So that's pretty much what happened, with my dad. And so I was like in that extreme mode of, I have to rescue him. I have to save him. I cannot I'm in control. I'm in control of all of this.
Yes.
So I have to make this happen. And when I didn't, when I was not able to save him and we had to unplug him, I immediately reverted back to, pretty quickly. I definitely went through a grieving process. But within, 3 months, I was divorced. I had been married at the time. So, just kind of dipped into some wounds there, and I completely just kind of shut that down, but I didn't do it in a healthy way. I didn't fully process through it, and I very quickly jumped into another relationship because that was my pattern.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did. And within about 6-7 months of my dad passing, I had an epiphany. I had an awareness that came through that was, what are you doing? Like, you are not processing through this. You're in a situation that you don't really want to be in, that's not really serving your highest good. You need to take a moment. And so I did. I called my mom, and because I had moved in with this guy, and I called my mom and I said, I need a place to stay. And me and my children moved in with her for about 9 months. And as soon as I got there to, to this place of, safety and security, where I allowed myself to start really feeling and experiencing this awakening, this, this dissolving of this illusion that I had created, that I was so, tightly, clinging on to.
Right.
Everything collapsed. Like, I can't even tell you, like, there were times that I had to have my mother come, like, lay with me at night, because the anxiety and the panic was through the roof. I basically quit eating because I thought everything was going to, kill me. This was the waking up to, I cannot control my reality externally, because I thought for my entire life that I could do that. And this realization brought so much fear and fear to the surface that I literally had to process through all of that, to accept the truth. And the truth being that, all of our answers are within. It's not external anyway. So looking outside of ourselves to try to find peace and try to find comfort and try to find love is an illusion. It's not. You're never going to find it outside of yourself. You're only going to find it within. And then when you do find it within and you can embody that, then you can reflect that outwardly to other people.
Right.
Absolutely. And you can take things from the physical that can amplify, it can, but it looks different. It just looks so different, when you find that peace within yourself. You're thinking, your thoughts are clearer, your actions. it's going to sound crazy, but I'm a little less clumsy since
Right.
I'm more aware of my surroundings. I'm paying more attention to things. Now, I'll always be clumsy. Let's just be real about that.
Literally, I trip all the time
But
over my
just
own feet.
but I just notice things like that, that I didn't notice before.
Exactly. So basically, you're highlighting awareness, and awareness is like a huge component to this. So I call this the power of three. The Holy Trinity. It's a triangle, if you want to put like a visual image to it.
Right.
So for people, they're like, well, okay, what is this? How do I ascend, and what does this really look like? There's this power of three, that has kind of been brought to my awareness, and awareness being, the first component of that. So awareness, consciousness is the light of truth, but it's coming in and it's exposing that which is untrue, that which is not in alignment with who you really are. And it may come into contrast to your programming and your belief systems and your thought forms. And so it exposes those things that are hidden in the shadow.
Right.
That's what awareness is. And you're not running on autopilot anymore. And so in this space of awareness, the illusion starts to collapse. And then the other aspect of this triangle is acceptance. And so to accept that which has been hidden in the shadow, which is often subconscious, you accept it. So in this dualistic 4D mindset, we want to point fingers, and we want to label, and we want to judge, and ooh, you're bad, you're evil, oh, fear, ooh, anxiety, ooh, hate, guilt, shame. Oh God, that's evil, that's terrible. Let me reject you. Let me suppress you. Let me project you onto someone else.
Right.
This is the cycle that has to be undone, because that's what it perpetuates the cycle. So acceptance of what is,
Right.
it without judgment. That is huge. I mean, there's no judgment there. You need it as you actually, in place of judgment, when you experience that, you meet it with compassion.
Yes.
Instead.
And facing yourself without judgment, looking
Yes.
at yourself, owning yourself, owning your actions and your thought, owning it, but not in judgment, not looking down
Not
at yourself. And it's
judgment.
so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Mhm. Yeah. And so that's where the compassion comes in. You can bring compassion to that fear. Well, where did that fear even stem from? Okay, well, that probably stemmed from a child, this childhood traumatic experience.
Right.
Bring compassion into that, not judgment. Don't push it away. It's just what it is. It's part of you, and so you want to allow this transmutation process to take place, because if it's not serving you anymore, and this fear and this anger and this hatred is, if you want to choose that for your reality, then that is your free will to do so.
Right.
If you don't want to choose that, you want to choose, a higher state of consciousness, of love or peace or joy or forgiveness, then you can do that. But it's going to start internally. And it's going to start with, this acceptance, the awareness first. You have to be aware of it. Then you accept it without judgment. You bring compassion in, and then the allowance. So that's the third component: awareness, acceptance, allowance. And the allowance basically is the forgiveness. You forgive yourself for feeling jealous. You forgive yourself for feeling, angry. You forgive yourself for not feeling good enough. And when you forgive yourself, you're basically bringing in love, okay, in
Right.
place of this judgment. And, you're bringing in compassion and love. So all remembering everything is energy. So you're replacing the energy. You're what I refer to as transmutation, and that's a universal law. And so you can transmute that through this process of awareness, acceptance, and allowance. And that is a very simplified easy to digest, kind of way to initiate moving into this ascension process.
I think for people, it does seem so overwhelming and complex, but the problem is it's so simple, it's complex.
Mhm.
It's so simple, but it's not easy. I
Right.
think it's not easy
It's not
because
easy
you
to
have
hear.
you have to be diligent in who you are, but also who you want to be. Joe Dispenza says it really well. You have to break the habit of being yourself.
Yeah.
He always says that. And I think that's so beautiful. If you really want to change, if you really want to transcend, if you really want to make your life the most beautiful thing it could possibly be, you have to change some things. And it is not easy. And you also have to be diligent. You have to diligently watch your words, your actions, your mood, and the things that affect it.
That's the awareness, Kate. you have to have that.
It's the most important part,
Mhm.
and honestly, it's the very beginning and essence of change is awareness. Once you become aware of something, I just think that that's the beginning. And so whenever people like come to me with something, like, oh, I'm doing this, and I'm like, beautiful, beautiful. I'm doing this and I don't like it. Oh, that's beautiful, because now you have the power to change it. You can't change something that you don't know.
Right.
Right. And, a lot of the conflict there and, why it seems so overwhelming too is because we're still trying to operate from this fourth dimension of, analyzing and thinking. And the mind is a tool, is a very powerful tool that should be utilized when it's necessary. But part of this transcending is moving beyond the mind. This is really moving into the heart space. This is moving into the spirit where our mind is finite. It is not going to be able to comprehend the infinite. And that's where when we try to process things mentally, spiritual concepts mentally, sometimes it even looks contradictory. It looks like, well, how can that be? Because that doesn't make sense. Well, because it's not gonna all make sense to your mind. So there definitely is this space of being okay, accepting. This is kind of part of the acceptance as well. Accepting that I don't have to mentally understand everything. I can just allow myself to move into this space of acceptance of, through faith, not through sight, not through mental processing, but through faith. And so I think that's a big component too. And then the other thing, where you were talking about, going through this process and it being painful, is that so many people too within this kind of spiritual self-help influencers type of community, there's this kind of concept or this terminology called spiritual bypassing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
so really quick. So I started this in self-help. I put anything that I could gravitate towards to make me a better person. I read it. I let it saturate me. And I wanted one thing to be the gospel, because easy programming, right? That's who we are. We want it fast, easy, free.
right.
And so Rachel Hollis, for instance, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so me, right? Like I can do all these things. And then when I would try to put her practices in place, I'm like, this isn't me. All of this isn't me, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff I took, and it was great. And I took
Right.
little snippets of everything, but I wasn't getting filled up. It wasn't enough,
I'm
And
glad
so-
you said that, because that is pretty much everything that I'm about, is helping to guide people into understanding themselves and what is what they are. So I don't personally, follow any particular practice or philosophy or religion or anything like that. I literally just feel through. I intuitively am guided into my next step in my journey. And that is very not comfortable for the mind, because our mind wants, it wants structure. It wants an agenda. It
Right.
wants to see the end, the end result, where we go. But that's just not how faith operates. That's not how
Yes.
the fifth dimension operates.
It asks you to trust.
Right.
Exactly. And so, because all of this is about being in the present moment. So, when we are, overly analyzing and, trying to foresee the future and planning, and we, of course, we're still operating in the third and the fourth dimensions. I'm not saying there's no planning or anything that takes place, but there's a balance. So balance is so very important with this process as well. So knowing, when is appropriate, when it's in alignment for you to, plan, when it is in an alignment for you to just, experience what is in the moment. And I think that presence, that being in the moment, is so very powerful. So that's really the idea behind meditation. Meditation is a tremendously valuable tool, because it trains us to let go of what happened, let go of what is going to happen, and just be with what is. And that's in a nutshell pretty much what 5D is about, is learning and going through this process of being present with what is, and flowing from our intuition, from our divinity, from our true authentic self, and knowing that you don't have to look outside of yourself. So what I've seen for my own journey is that I don't go seeking out gurus or practices. I look within, and very often, I receive just like a message or a piece of information that comes through, just comes through my awareness. And what's really cool is that after I gain this awareness, I'll start seeing it reflected outwardly. I will see, it'll be witnessed outside of myself. So I will start then connecting with other people that, oh, wait a minute, you have that same thought too? You have that same viewpoint on this thing? Wow, like I thought this was just my own personal thing, and then you realize that, oh, this is associated with this, practice of Reiki, or this practice of this. And it's like, and people are like, oh, well, you follow this practice? No, I don't. I follow myself. and very often it just aligns with other things. So that's kind of, how my alignment process works a lot of times is, that I consider those to be confirmation. When it is something that I internally feel and know to be, true and accurate for me, when it's reflected outwardly, that's like the universe saying, yeah, you're on track. This is your path.
Right. It's always nice to get that outside confirmation too. It's a lot of times I find that, and I guess I was just thinking about this when I said that I always ask my dad, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? I'm like still asking the universe that about my future. I'm like, what's going to happen next? I don't know if I can handle too much fear, surprise. I just want to know. And that's the beauty of like learning that, my thoughts and my subconscious, like I do have I do have some say in the matter. Yes,
yeah, absolutely. And that's where that balance comes in. So I think balance is so very important. It's about, oh man, it's a hard concept to grasp when you mentally, but energetically, spiritually, it is, you give over to the universe, but you also have a role to play.
right.
So it's kind of like you set your intention for what you desire, and then you give it to the universe to unfold that however it may
Right.
be.
And have to let
and
go of the
trust that.
expectation of it and just like that's where the faith part, I believe, comes in, and the
Absolutely.
walking in faith.
Letting go of expectation, letting go of attachment, all of
Right.
that is a huge part of this ascension process. And that has been a very challenging, letting go of attachment.
Right.
And that could be to different things, different devices, and people. I mean, so I've been walking through that myself over this past year, and I can't tell you how many people and relationships that I've had to release and let go of. And it's not from rejection or anything like that.
Right.
It's from if it's not in alignment, because as you learn what's true and authentic for you, and you choose to follow that, you find that some things you start attracting different things and different people and different experiences, and then other experiences and relationships tend to fall out. And when we have an attachment to that and we're not willing to let go, then we stunt our growth process.
Right.
Yes, that is so true. And it's so crazy because it's like I used to worry so much about like how am I going to get my bills paid? What's going to like and now it's like, well, if I have to let go of this house and find another option, it's part of my process. It's part of the growth.
Exactly.
And when I lose something that like, because I have been kind of a material person, like I like things. We all like things. Whatever you say you don't, you're lying. But I, before, if I would lose something, I would freak out over it, right? Like, oh my God, I can't find it. Now I think, well, the universe doesn't want me to have it. And if it does, it'll return to me. And I just let it go. The old Christina would have yelled at her children, what did you do with it? You took my stuff, like just going on. But now it's like that. And I'm watching that happen. My disattachment, not a word, but from
It is now.
It is. I just made it one from things, and emotions, and just this is where I'm at in this moment, right?
Right.
And and like you, I'm going to touch on what you said when you're like kind of because I still feel a little bit of that too, Chrissy, about like what's going to happen next. But it's almost more of an excitement, like holy cow, like what's going to happen next,
Right.
Right.
Because I feel like I've done a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like it's starting to pay off. And I also feel that I have a lot of tools that I've cultivated that allow me to feel it within the, in that vibration of faith and the vibration of, I didn't come this far to only come this far. And
That's right.
And, the worst things in my life have directly led to the best things in my life. You know what I mean? And I've just recently kind of moved through some really hard things, but I think it's just, I don't know. I feel like there's this like kind of phoenix energy around me, like, rising from the ashes kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because the word phoenix, I cannot tell you how many times I've heard it in the last, 3 days or something.
Do you know I have a tattoo of a phoenix, like right here, and I got it years ago, you guys, like years ago.
Oh wow!
Yes, Zach has one on his back,
Years ago.
and I think his nickname is Phoenix. And and it's not just that. I've heard it like I got this guy stopped me, this older gentleman. He's like 67 years old, and I guess he wanted somebody to talk to. We talked about his grandkids for like 20 minutes, and he said the last thing he said to me is like, "Yep, about to go on a trip to Phoenix." And it's just like, oh my God, I can't even tell you how many times I have
And
heard
stuff
it.
like that happened to you your whole entire life, and
Right.
you weren't open enough or aware enough to
The
know
awareness.
that it was
Right.
happening.
Absolutely. And so, basically those are synchronicities, universal synchronicities that are coming through. And I love that. Like, I love when those messages come through because it's relaying some information. And that's basically what I was talking about, the confirmation that comes.
Right.
It's like, okay, so pay attention, bring the awareness into the moment, when those messages are coming through and, find the correlation. It's like,
Right.
okay, this is my path. This is
Right.
what I'm doing, where I am in this moment. My vibration is in alignment,
Wow.
so take note of that. Like,
Yeah. And look, I just want to tell everybody this. Somebody commented on YouTube and said, my 2-year-old son is named Phoenix.
That is
Oh my
amazing.
Just now.
and they happen to be watching
They
right
just
now.
happen to be watching.
I mean, they do watch. It's Jacob. So
But
he
still,
watches
it
every
doesn't.
time. But still, I'm not discounting Jacob. I love that you watch. I'm so sorry. That sounded rude.
And I'm just going to say that I too also had the thought of the Phoenix coming through my mind earlier just today. Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine messaged me that just this week I had sent her a message about a situation or something that I was going through, and she said, "Ooh, the Phoenix transformation."
Yes, yes. And I keep getting like I see 1s and 9s, which is like the beginning and the beginning and the end, which is death and rebirth,
Mhm.
which are synonymous, death equals rebirth. Energy can't die. We don't die.
Absolutely.
You hear that,
That's
people?
it.
Okay, Brittany, would you it's 3:30, would you allow me to do your cards?
Please do. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's so fun. I love
Yay.
it.
Okay, cool. Me too.
So, by the way, my
I gotta
mom
light.
wants you to read her palm and do her cards. She's like, "Can I take a picture of my palm and send? Is that can that work?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think you have to be there."
When I do the palms, I like to connect to the energy because I feel like I get like kind of spirit speaks through me, and I get to
that
connect.
spirit does speak through you, girl. It does.
I get to connect more with like the energy and like what really spirit wants to say to you, not what I see.
Right. Right.
That's what I try to do. Okay. Do you have a specific question or would you like some guidance?
I would like guidance.
Beautiful. All right. So what I'd like you to do, Miss Brittany, is just kind of visualize, kind of walking down a dark road and being guided by the moonlight. So just this huge, big moon is in front of you and you're just being guided. And I just like you to, visualize that if you can. All right. Okay. All right. We're just going to let some cards fall out that are for you. Getting 2 cards at once. Okay. All right. Do you want? Okay. And I'm going to let you pick a card. So I'm going to just run my hands over the cards and you tell me when to stop. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Stop.
Okay. All right. You got a lot of cards. Let's see what these have to say. Oh my God. New beginnings.
What?
Love it.
Oh.
All right. So. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. So you got new beginnings, authority, foundation.
Oh my gosh. I literally called in authority energy earlier.
Really? That's
Yeah.
beautiful. All right. Then you got foundation and achievements, obstacles and challenges, mental conflict. And the card you picked was truth.
And that's my dominant vibration.
Beautiful. That's what you said. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to start with this obstacles and challenges and mental conflict. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do that first. Purple. All right. This card represents the obstacles, power struggles, and challenges that you must face in order to overcome them. This could be a difficult period to get through, but it's not impossible if you open your mind and see the bigger picture of how something went wrong. But don't get caught up in it. Just pause and stand back for clarity. Observe where adjustments are required or which decisions may need to be changed or enable you to move forward in a positive direction. Life really is all about learning. Don't play the victim. Take the knowledge you've gained from this experience so that you can apply it to similar situations in the future. This card often comes forth when competition is around you, whether it's in your personal or business life. This is an excellent time to think creatively and ask yourself, how can I make myself shine above all the rest?
Mm, love that.
Take
Uh,
that one in.
yes.
Wow.
All right. And
I'm
then,
making notes as you're telling me.
okay. Well, look, it's recorded. We can look back anytime. All right, and then you had foundation and achievements, and that's on the same. That's also a spirit card. So let's see. This card confirms that what you've been building is now firmly established with a strong and solid foundation. You deserve this, and it's time for you to harvest the rewards of your efforts. What you sowed, you now can reap. Be open to receive, and as you've worked hard and have given so much, allow the universe to give a little back to you. And there has to be an even exchange of giving and receiving in order to prime the pump of gratitude and reinforce the law of attraction.
Oh, yes.
Using
That's
the
good.
more using the more traditional meaning in tarot, this card represents a period for celebration, peace, and prosperity. May also imply a marriage or the buying of land or a new home. As you enjoy this time of relaxation that you so deserve, know that nothing remains stagnant and the winds of change are always at your door.
Mm, I receive it.
Save it. Okay, mental conflict. All right.
I already know what this is.
This card deals with the inability to move forward as self doubt emerges from indecisiveness or not being able to take action with a person, group, or even a situation in your present life. It may
Mm,
not be an easy decision, but you're already aware of this. Just remember that you have the strength, courage, and power to make the necessary considerations. When you decide to act and finally make the choices that need to be made, then and only then will a resolution be forthcoming, and with it, a sense of mental relief. There's assistance out there for you, so seek out and listen to wise counsel to help you make the right decisions. Listen to your intuition and have faith in yourself. Peace and harmony will soon be yours.
wow.
What about
Wow.
that? What about that?
Yes, girl. We'll chat later.
Yes, we will.
All right, so let's start. Let's do, I don't know why. Okay. Let's do authority first. All right. This card represents the masculine qualities of leadership, logic, strength, wisdom, and power. When this card emerges, it acts as a teaching tool, and in so doing, it is encouraging you to develop or reignite these qualities and tap into the masculine aspects of yourself. Other traits also included are good reasoning, problem solving skills, being grounded, and learning to develop strong mental control over free reigning emotions. Oftentimes, this card appears to symbolize a father figure or an individual of wise authority who may be present in your life. It could be someone of high influence in business or a prudent friend who uses logic and reason to create a positive outcome. Ask yourself whether it's time to take on and emulate similar qualities. Now is the time to act like a leader and exert your will by incorporating form and structure into ideas, plans, and foundations. It's time to stop talking and act in order to achieve what you must. Use the qualities and character of the authority card so that when you need to make a choice, you approach it from a place of wisdom, rationality, logic, and grace rather than one of foolishness, belligerence, greed, or self-centeredness. The way in which you acquire, handle, and wield power and authority is now being tested.
It's now being what?
Tested.
Oh, got it.
All right, and then we're going to go to new beginnings. And then I'll read the card that you picked. Each and every journey begins with the all-important first step. When this card presents itself in your reading, it's confirming that it's time for you to take a brave leap of faith, but be prepared as you do so. This card represents that a great new adventure is awaiting you. It usually shows up when there's a significant interchange happening. By selecting this card, it's a sign that those important choices are needed and are about to be made and should be carefully pondered as you proceed with wisdom, thought, and care. Don't conform to what society or other individuals expect of you at this time. It's your own adventure. During this time, be like an innocent child with fresh eyes and give yourself permission to live, play, love, and above all, laugh.
Mm,
Love it.
yes.
Awesome. All right, one more truth card. See what this says. The qualities of this card illustrate spiritual awakening, clarity, the revelation of truth, and cosmic consciousness. At times, it takes a wake up call to get your attention and show how far you need to go. This card comes forth to do just that. Evaluation of the past, along with the lessons that you've learned or still need to understand, must now be a top priority. Doing so will enable you to forgive, accept, and heal so that you can move forward in a balanced spiritual mindset. The truth card reminds you that a significant change must be made in a certain area of your life, but don't make any hasty decisions. Take your time, for any choices or alterations must be weighed and evaluated. With the most careful and wisest of judgments, whatever steps you take now will have far reaching consequences, more than you'll ever know. Using the powers of the universe and blending them with a little help from the physical world will assist you in bringing clarity and a shift in awareness. What was once not obvious will now be realized and understood. Be honest with yourself and trust what you know to be true. This is crazy because all these cards is like exactly what you were talking about. Every single
It kind of hit
one.
on every point, did it not?
And they're all very,
Did.
very similar. It felt like I was reading kind of the same thing over and
Like
over, or just like about choice and change. And
a theme there. Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
I love
Totally where
it.
you're at,
Yeah.
sister.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Very, very cool.
Well, I, with your permission, am going to tag your Intuitive Alignment Mentor page.
Yes,
Um,
please.
I think it's important. It's your next step. I get so much from hearing you talk. I could listen to you speak for days on end. You have a purpose and a mission, and it's time to really put it out there.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm doing it.
I'm game. I'm game. Do
Awesome.
it.
Do it.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I had so much fun doing
Oh,
this, and I
thank
really
you.
do appreciate you letting me, come here and speak my truth and,
Well, we
share
appreciate
my
you so
story.
much.
Absolutely. And so we're going to give it some time and then we'll probably have you back on. I think
Yeah,
a lot of the topics that we're touching on here as of late are, they have to have time to sink in with people because it is the awakening. It is different.
absolutely.
It is,
It's
you know,
triggering too.
it is. It is. So I think it's definitely something we have to touch back. We have to come back around to let it sink in for a little while.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
No,
Yes.
absolutely not.
It's a process.
It is. And it always will be.
Absolutely. And it's all, we're all doing it. All like everybody's purpose in life is enlightenment.
Right.
We're all reaching for the same goal. We just
Right.
all, have different ways of going about it. But, we can
That's
all
right.
get there.
And
Yeah, we have
appreciate where we're all at in that journey.
without judgment of
Without
ourselves or
judgment.
each other, because
Exactly.
we're all in a process. And, it's not even about, well, I'm above you or you're behind me or anything like that. It's just, we don't know what someone else's purpose and mission for coming into this incarnation here in this life
Right.
was,
Yeah.
like that is where, there's no judgment there. It's not my place. It's just about coming into alignment with yourself, your journey, your path, and being your authentic self. And in doing that, I feel like that we're all, contributing to, the collective well-being.
Right.
And that's all that we can hope for.
Beautiful.
I love
Well,
you
thank you
so
much.
I
much.
love
Yes.
you ladies so
Learned
much.
so much. Thank you.
Y'all have a super fun Halloween evening with your
You
kids or
too.
whatever you're going to be doing.
I'm going to work. That's what I'm going to do.
You're going to work.
That's what I'm going to do. I might watch some
That
Widespread
sounds
Panic
so
later.
boring.
Live. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, my kids we won't be sleeping until midnight or doing anything.
All right. Well, I will, hopefully we'll reconnect again soon.
Yes, please.
All right. Y'all have a good evening.
You too.
All right. Bye,
Thank you.
girl.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, you
Awesome.
guys. That was heavy. It may seem heavy, but it's really so simple. But it's just like we said in the beginning, we are light bringers. We want truth. We seek truth, and we know that looks different for everyone. And so we want to help you. Especially that's our heartbeat. Our heartbeat is those who feel they are broken, that are walking through addictions, or are on the other side in recovery, and have that story to share, or those who are facing some sort of neurodiversity. Um, we want to hold hands and like lift each other up and get us to the next place. We're always
Yes.
emerging. And so that's what we do this for, and I get just chills. I have chills right now because that's my purpose. And it is, it's Chrissy's purpose. And we were brought together, for that. And we're joining hands with people all around the country, inevitably all around the world.
Yep.
I really feel this is so far reaching. And we're in the middle of an awakening. We're in the middle of a revolution. And I believe that with my whole heart.
And I think it's really, you can tell because our world has never been in so much turmoil, in so much like grief. Like it's a grieving process. And it,
We're all
I know-
hurting for each other.
Yeah, I think like the universe is in like a dark night of the soul because we're expanding. And I mean, to be alive in this time, like it's absolutely amazing that we get to sit here like never before in the universe, in the history of time,
Right.
has this been possible. Like we get to sit here and talk to people all over the world
Who
That doesn't
have that
happen,
same
you know what I mean?
mentality,
Exactly.
who are facing the same.
And I'm just speaking like really just technology, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
our technology is, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible because I know when I was growing up, I mean, not even a piece of this.
No. And we talk so much about how communication like this is so damaging, but we have the ability to turn it for good. If there's more of this, the more you share this show and the people that we're sharing on the show, the more you share those people, then you're using technology for good. You're spreading that love and that kindness, and it will always overpower hate. It will always come out on top, but it is in our power to do it. It is in our power to continue to share and connect with each other in that way. And I'm not just saying that because we want you to share. We want you to share the show.
Please share the show.
Please share the show, right? But anything positive that you see, if it's on social media and it grabs you and you're like, oh my gosh, like I feel that, share it immediately. Just share it. Someone else needs to hear it. I'm telling you, that's how I live my life. If I see something, I mean, people that follow me on Snapchat and on Instagram and on Facebook and those feeds, I share the same things all across the board. Because I know that the audience is different. I've got different friends on different platforms. And so I know that like somebody needs to hear it. And I get it all the time. People screenshotting and saying like, I needed this today. Thank you for sharing it.
Yep.
And it's somebody else's words, y'all. It's not my words. I mean, I am a word girl and I'm really good with words, but like I also appreciate someone else being able to make like me too, hashtag me too. Like I read something or I hear something. I'm like, this is so me, this is where I need to be.
Right.
So the more you spread love, positivity, it's just so simple.
Too simple. Not easy.
It's so simple. It's complex. Maybe that's our
That's a good
words
one.
of wisdom.
I like that. I
I'm
like
write that down somewhere. I mean, we've gotten so far removed from who we really are, who we were, intended to be, and we can get back there, guys. It's through all these avenues that we're sharing. Just last week when we had Jonique and Tristan from Gutsy Health, taking
was-
back your nutrition, reversing yesterday, whatever.
Seriously.
I'm in the time. I don't know where I'm at.
She's ascending.
I don't
Time
know. Yeah,
means
we
nothing.
lose track of time and space, and it's different. Okay, anyway, but reversing stage 4 cancer. Just
I
they
mean, how
took it into their
incredible.
their own hands. If you did not see that show, please, if you're on YouTube right now, go back and watch it. Facebook, go back and watch it. We share. We do watch parties at night because we want to spread that message.
Exactly.
Somebody's going to hear that message with and what they feel is an irreversible disease, and it's going to strike them, and they're going to reach out to Jonique and Tristan, and they're going to get saved in some way because they're going to take back their power, and they're going to watch what they're putting in their body, and they're going to, combat with, have that discussion with our doctors and say, hey, what about this? Can we do this instead?
Right. And we can change the whole world. I mean, we can change our medical system, by demanding different things, and it starts with, I mean, I don't even know why chemotherapy is like an option anymore because it's like a 3% success rate. And
It's breaking down your system to
exactly. I know it's radio.
right.
It's like radioactive
It's toxic.
toxins if you put in your system to kill cancer. I don't
I
understand.
can
don't
promise you,
understand.
and I don't want to put this
understand.
out in
I
the
don't wanna- yeah.
universe. But if I were to get cancer, you'd have to excuse me. My allergies are insane. I won't go that route. I
Right.
won't. I can tell you right now. When and Kaylee with all the medical stuff that she's facing, she'll be coming home soon. We won't be going that route. We won't be filling the prescriptions. We will be paying attention to what we put in our bodies.
Right.
I will be using my crystals and my oils and uh-oh. Yeah, it will be I will get her back to I have every confidence in the world that I will get her back to her normal. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, we
There's
have
there's
stuff
a
that pops
screen
up on
in
our
front of us,
screen,
and things
and
just pop up sometimes.
I'm not even gonna tell you. I can't. Okay. But I'm going to call on the powers that exist with my God and through herself and what I can do to facilitate her healing. And I believe in it 110%. And it is my truth, and I will stand on that. I will.
Yes.
That's true. True. Um. So. What are you guys doing for Halloween tonight? We're just
Okay,
going to move on.
So moving on.
Moving on.
So we're gonna go. We always go to the same neighborhood. It's the same neighborhood there's schools in. So we're just gonna go there and trick or treat because it's always rain or shine. Doesn't matter.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I heard like while we were doing this show, there was like a huge storm.
We called the storm.
We called in the storm
Somehow.
with the tarot and the palm reading. No. Believe me, I do it all the time.
She's got powers, you guys. I'm waiting to figure out what mine are. They'll come to me.
They will.
They will. They will.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool. So we're going to do that. I'm meeting my mom and her husband for dinner. So they left. They're leaving from Atlanta. They said traffic was already crazy.
Nuts.
They left
I'm
at
going
like
home.
3.
Whew.
It was crazy. I just went to Kroger. It's on 278. It was already crazy.
I wonder what that's all about.
I know. I always park at this church across from the kids' school. But I'm going to have to go buy a sweater.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Because it's hot. Like it's 70-something
was
degrees. And it's going to
so
be in the 50s, 40s tonight.
Hot. Like, I mean, it was crazy. It was funny. I woke up this morning and I'm like running around the house getting the kids ready. And I said to Annabelle, I'm like, Annabelle, are you hot? She's like, Mama, I've never seen you hot in my life because it
Right.
was so cold. In the
Me
ocean.
too. I'm always like blanket everywhere. I have a blanket with me everywhere.
I literally keep a blanket.
A blankie. Linus.
Thank
Was it Linus that had the blanket? That's me. Well, I shared today on my Facebook all these pictures of my beautiful children when they were small and trick or treating, and it was
Oh.
like heartbreaking. I cried. I was like, oh, my babies, like I don't get to do that. But suddenly, I feel like I'm okay with it. I'm going to go home and work a little bit, and then there's this Widespread Panic like live viewing thing that I'm going to check out and just kind of chill with myself. So,
That's awesome.
oh.
Actually, yeah, my mom is taking the kids. She's so I get to have a little
Reprieve.
night to myself. I'm very excited. I have a
You
lot
won't
of
be by
meditating
yourself.
I'm going to do. What? Yes, I will. I will.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah,
My
I
dog will be
was,
there.
it's so funny, you guys. So I've been grounding and meditating every morning for a while now. And when I don't do it, which I didn't do it this morning, I woke up a little late and I was like, oh, I have a meeting. And I feel so like my energy, maybe that's why I was like, more coffee. And I don't need as much coffee when I meditate and do all my routine that I have every morning.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, then like, that's what it was. Didn't get that in this morning. I have to do it. I have to go home and do it.
If I don't do what I'm supposed to do
For
in the
you,
morning,
for you.
oh, it is my day
takes
is
your whole-
whack.
Right. So that's self-care, people. Like that's a whole part of our healing process and where we're at on the other side of whatever it is that we have overcome.
Right. And I do notice that I can get it back like anytime. You know what I mean? Like if I skip meditating, like sometimes I'm tired in the morning and I like
just
to
don't want
sleep.
to.
Yes. And it's
That's
like
grace.
warm and cozy in my bed.
That's grace. That's no judgment of yourself.
Right.
When I skip yoga for a day or whatever, I'm like, well, my body just said no,
Yeah.
make up for it tomorrow.
Totally.
Used to before, if I didn't work out or if I did, I was like, oh, I'm a human being, like,
Right.
how
so
dare.
hard on yourself.
Now I'm just like, whatever.
Whatever. I think I know who this costume is.
Okay,
I
so
forget
it's not
his name
Foxy
now.
Brown
No,
now?
it is. But
She
I
just
look,
changed her
I'm looking at
costume.
myself. I feel like I'm like that curly-headed guy who always wears the same exact hat from Guns N' Roses. What's his name?
Slash!
Slash.
Dang it!
I'm Slash.
You need glasses. You
Give me
need his
some glasses.
But you can be.
I'm
Slash.
Slash.
Freaking
I'm
murders
just-
a guitar, that dude. Don't even get me
Yeah.
started. So now we're just having banter. That's
Witty
just what
banter.
we're doing.
I mean, I guess we could just go. So what do we have next week? Next Tuesday? Are we up in the air? That's the 5th.
Hey, we're not sure what
All
we're
right,
doing.
so next Thursday, I am so excited.
we'll
We're
figure
gonna
it out.
have this lady. I started going to her in the summer.
Oh yes.
Her
Okay.
name's Marsha Lynn. She is so incredible, y'all. She is so incredible. Okay. She's a psychic. She's a healer. She's just amazing. She's a medium. So she's gonna come in, and we're gonna get her for 2 hours. I hope
She's
y'all know
gonna
what
stay the
that
whole 2
costs.
hours. Oh
I
my gosh,
think.
y'all.
I don't know. I have to call her.
Oh well, you just told her she was.
All right, she is.
Guess what, Marsha? Marsha.
She's amazing. She actually, I went to her the beginning of the summer because beginning like April-ish or something, and I just said to her, I was like, look, I'm done with men. I said, like, I cannot do it anymore. I
Feeling
cannot
that.
be with another
I felt
man.
that.
I was like, I've just had one horrible, relationship after the next. I was like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And she said, okay, yeah. She's like, that's good. Don't do it anymore. She's like, you're going to take this whole summer off. You're not going to find anybody. You're not going to meet anybody. You're not going to talk to anybody. And I really didn't. I really, really didn't. And she said, I think somebody's going to come into your life at the end of the summer. And I ended up meeting somebody totally by accident, wasn't even looking, on August 30th.
I can attest to that. That's a real thing.
Yes.
And he's wonderful.
Oh, he is.
Zach, we love you.
Love you, Zach.
That was
All
fun.
right.
Oh, Matthew just said you're more like Jack White with a scarecrow hat. Jack White.
Jack White. Oh.
Jack White.
yeah.
I can see it.
I
Your
can see
hair
that.
though, you
It's
should
the-
be
it's the
Slash.
slash hair.
You could do this whole Slash thing. You have to get rid of the dress because Slash would never wear a dress.
Well, I'm going to be freezing, so that is
just wear some
fine.
jean, like
Holy jeans and a
on
black
the way,
shirt.
On the way home, we'll figure it out. Yeah, totally. You just need
Ross.
the glasses, Ross.
I will go to Ross for any reason, especially this
Sweet.
reason.
Right?
To look like Slash.
You have to now. You absolutely have to.
Yes.
All right, you guys.
All right, y'all. I guess that's enough.
That's enough.
We're
We've
done.
done enough today.
I really have to pee. So
I'm tired.
Yeah. But
I
we
love
love you so
y'all.
much, and we'll put up on the site who we're having next week, or just tune in because
Yeah,
we
we're
know
gonna
it's
get
gonna
better
be
about
amazing.
programming stuff.
We will.
are. We will get better.
We will.
But we hope you enjoyed today. I
Yes.
enjoyed it. I thought it was super
enjoyed it
fun.
immensely. I thought it was
Immensely. It
amazing.
was
Thank
very
you so much,
therapeutic.
Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you, Brittany. You're amazing.
All
right,
right. Y'all be
y'all.
safe. Take care of yourselves and your kids. Do whatever Halloween traditions you do. Bye, YouTube. No? I got to keep talking. I'll just keep talking. You're right, Matthew. Slash does have a top hat. Actually, I might have a top hat coming in from Amazon today if you want to pay me $10. Bye.
Conquest Solutions is a unified communications provider that specializes in advanced and flexible phone systems. As an IT consulting company with over 15 years of experience, Conquest Solutions recognizes the modern communication requirements needed for offices and teams out in the field. Our phone systems are designed to easily integrate with your company with Office to